SummerSlam 2024 in the books from Cleveland. We're here to recap, review it with an overload of a lot of drama and more on the Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network. Let's get ready.
Acknowledge me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heel of the Ring podcast here on the Sports Jedi Network. We're going to review SummerSlam 2024 that's in the books from Cleveland. My goodness, what a premium live event. We had a lot of different things. We had a returning Roman Reigns, a battle between Drew and CM Punk. Does it continue? And, of course, 4 title changes with a lot of overload of drama, setting the stage for what I'm going to say an exciting 2024 year that we're starting to usher in the era of the Netflix streaming. Say goodbye to the PG-13, maybe the rated R renaissance of the WWE. We all know they're going to Netflix in January. The CW commercials are out for NXT going on your over-the-air antenna to the CW network, as well as SmackDown moving out of Fox into the USA Network. So a lot of different things, moving parts in the world of wrestling in the WWE and so forth. Welcome, everyone, to the program. If you have not heard us before or not seen us before, we are the Heel of the Ring podcast here on the Sports Jedi Network. We tend to do a lot of different walk-alongs when it comes to wrestling, WWE, NXT, and of course TNA. Yes, we actually live in Orlando. We're two out of our 3 founding members are here in Orlando that go to the NXT brand. So just in case you're familiarizing yourself, you're getting to know us, or you're meeting us for the first time, we actually attend these NXT. We are boots to the ground when it comes to the NXT brand. We're mostly we have a soft spot for NXT. So let's talk about this SummerSlam. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of things. We kicked it off, of course, with Jelly Roll playing his music, singing God Bless America, then into his hit single. I had no problem that Jelly Roll is not my cup of coffee of music. I understand that you want to cater to music to all fans, and he's been gracious enough to showcase his talent in the WWE. Listen, it's been going on since WrestleMania 1. Where you bring celebrities either from the music, the movies industries, from other sports, and that's what wrestling is about. It's a celebration of all different type of sports, entertainment, music, culture, and so forth. So I might have goofed around and made a couple funny jokes about the performance of Jelly Roll. Not my cup of coffee, but it is needed in the world of wrestling, in my opinion. So I'm going to be foremost transparent with that. It's needed. Good, he did a good job there, but it started off opening with a hell of a match. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Now everybody wants to know that love triangle, that story, but the storyline here is that both women have injured each other in the past. We all know Rhea Ripley caused Liv some time away from the ring, and vice versa. Liv recently with Rhea Ripley's shoulder out of commission. The match started off extremely intense. We had Dirty Dominic at ringside with Rhea Ripley, a company where a lot of people were skeptic. Where is Dirty Dom standing in this whole drama, in this triangle? The tensions began Of course, you saw Liv Morgan with the shenanigans, classic heel 101, running away from her opponent. Looked terrified at Rhea Ripley at times. Rhea psyching her out, making her chase the cat and mouse chase. Rhea Ripley gets finally hands on Liv. They go back and forth. Moments of the match where the shoulder looks like it might have been out of place or injured from Rhea Ripley, or she sold it, or at least made it seem at home that it was dislocated again. One of the shots that went really hard and it was like, wow, where Rhea Ripley just takes the shoulder and rams it right into the announce table and kind of put it back in place, telling that story that she has a bum shoulder and she's tolerance of pain. Mommy wants her title back at all costs and at all elevation. Loved it. Morgan countered the rip tie with a DDT and so forth. Back and forth they go where the shoulders came an issue and there's a chair involved. Rhea Ripley so hell bent to just want to destroy Liv Morgan. Liv on her revenge tour wants to take away Dirty Dom, her Latino heat, like she calls, breaking up the clubhouse at Judgment Day, dividing the Judgment Day nucleus that they have, and Mommy wants to make this woman, this Jezebel, pay. And the story here, Mommy was about to go into Rhea Ripley was about to go into a dark place with that chair and hit Liv with that chair and really make her pay. And Dominic intervenes, and Dominic at the moment made sense. You can't use the chair because if you hit the chair, you're not getting the title back. And he was actually at that point of time of the match the voice of reasoning. And it's true. Referee ready to call that disqualification once Rhea Ripley annihilates Liv Morgan with the chair, and better heads or cooler heads prevail from Dominic Mysterio. But then the plot thickens. The back and forth where Dominic slides the chair in the ring for Liv to use. Liv uses to her discretion, and she retained her title. Where everyone's like, "Whoa, it's happening!" And from a moment of oohs, ahs, or drama, Dominic picks up Liv Morgan and he plants a hell of a kiss onto Liv Morgan and was like, whoa, this is going to continue here to late summer into the early fall, possibly. We all know in October we have Bad Blood. We have the Bash of Berlin coming up, but at Bad Blood. And I think the right person went over, in my opinion, and here's the reason why. I mean, everyone can say, yeah, I agree. There's a lot of agreeers, yes, man. I want to break it down why. At least in my opinion. Of course, these are my opinions. I understand not everyone's going to agree with it, but this is just my thoughts and my opinions on this matter. Is if Liv Morgan were to lose that title to Rhea Ripley, let's say last night at SummerSlam, what is next for Liv? She can't get another rematch. I mean, you could, but you're not going to have the hot potato of the title. Rhea Ripley, there's Dusty Rhodes has said it many times. There's more money in the chase than the champion being the champion. And if Rhea would have won, I don't think WWE has made any female adversary hot enough to be the number one contender yet. I mean, that can happen in the next few weeks here on Raw going forward, but they haven't established on Raw who is the next dominant female. And it's going to be tough if you bring a returning star, and I'm going to use Raquel Rodriguez, and all of a sudden you place her in there. It's not going to hit right away. You got to heat up. You got to warm up. You got to elevate some of these women. And if Liv would have dropped the title, then what's next for Rhea? There would have been no one there for Rhea. Now you could extend the storyline with the drama with why did Dirty Dom, we all want to know tomorrow, Monday Night Raw, why did Dirty Dom turn on Rhea Ripley? What was the cause? Was it because the abandonment? While she was injured, she was so worried, focused on her injury, she totally went incommunicado with Dominic. We always heard, and why did she communicate more with Damian Priest? Was Dominic jealous of that relationship between Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley while she's away? And I know, when we talk about the Heel of the Ring crew, let's talk about it as men, and all the men that are listening to us. How much more of a man could have resisted on a Liv Morgan seducing and tempting a Dominic Mysterio? How much he lasted, or he withstand as much as possible? Because she, other than just being completely in her birthday suit, pretty much threw herself on Dominic Mysterio, and Dominic resisted until the very end when we least expect that. We thought all things were honky dory, and boom, he typical heel fashion. And boy, SummerSlam is the ultimate Dominic Mysterio heel turn. My goodness, he has been Dominic Mysterio and SummerSlam is synonymous, from the custody match on, all the way to when he turned on his father and rated R superstar Edge, and now here we're turning on Rhea Ripley. Wow, that Dominic Mysterio knows how to make an impact on a SummerSlam. What is next here? So we want to find out what tunes in for Monday Night Raw. I thought the match was phenomenal. With from the storyline wise, the drama, the heel turn, although most of us kind of knew. Let's say 80% of us had an idea that Dominic was going to turn on, but here's the wonderful thing about it. Sometimes predictability, if it's done right, it still gives you that ooh and ah and that euphoria moment, and they did that. We all knew the turn was coming, and it gave us that wow, that euphoria of a moment. And you know what? You got to check the box. If you wanted to give it a letter grade, that's an A plus, because it hit all the strings. You had the title change, you had the drama, you had the the what, when, why, and how. And it checked the boxes there. I cannot wait to see the fury on a Rhea Ripley, because they showed some of it. If you looked at it on Twitter X or you saw it on X, when she was going back to the, heartbroken, going back behind Gorilla, and boy, that demeanor on her. So Rhea Ripley looks like when she's a real pissed off woman, be careful. So I can't wait to see that on Monday Night Raw. Security is going to be vamped, especially when Liv and Dominic peeks around and show their faces. Boy, they got a bullseye on their back. So we get the second match of the night, and I want to hear your thoughts. Comment below in the comment section your thoughts on that Liv and Rhea Ripley match, and what's your thoughts. Next match of the night, you got Braun Breaker taking on Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. Now, I'm going to be totally biased. I'm going to be honest and brutally honest. Huge. I am a huge, from day one, Braun Breaker fan. Going to NXT, taking tons of pictures, making T-shirts of Braun and his uncles. A big fan of the Steiner brothers. I was rooting like a mark. When they call Mark, yeah, you could have put a capital M on me for Braun Breaker. I always said it. I say it time and time again. Even before he got on the main roster, if you look at Stand and Deliver versus him and Carmelo Hayes on that vignette that they have by the WWE Network, I'm on it with Terrence from our channel when they ask us, who do you like to win, Braun Breaker or Carmelo Hayes? And I quickly said Braun Breaker. He's the future. And I have that. I had the privilege, and I'm going to be forever in the archives of the Peacock or the WWE library, Stand and Deliver Braun Breaker, and I called it 2 years ago. Braun Breaker is the future, and he's on display. He arrived in big fashion. I thought the first match between Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker at Money in the Bank was a little more crisp, much more storytelling, much more smoother than this match here. But at the end of the day, Braun Breaker showed his dominance as a champion, or soon-to-be champion, as up-and-coming rising star, and totally, not decimated, but beat a Sami Zayn convincingly. I mean, that spear off the ropes, they say he clocks at 23 miles an hour per ropes and nailed Sami Zayn. It's believable because he took him out and knocked the damn wind out of him. You're gonna need more than 3 seconds if you get hit by a spear at over 20 plus miles an hour in your adamant. And it told the story. And right there, that not much to say much there for Braun Breaker winning that. Now, what does he do next? Creatively. Now it's on creative now. Who steps up against Braun now? You have, and again, me personally, and I know a lot of people want to see this, but I personally don't want to see Braun go that route. If they do, fine. Ilya Dragunov and Braun Breaker, seen it plenty of time on the NXT brand. We've seen it a couple times already on Raw. If they do it as his first title defense, we all know Ilya's not going over. If they do that, then that's fine. I kind of would like to see a Big Brunson Reed, give an obstacle to Braun to try to overcome, like a Big Brunson Reed. You have Sheamus. Wouldn't mind seeing a Sheamus and Braun Breaker, where the older veteran, and who Sheamus looks phenomenal at his age, and his presentation and his ring general will, along with a Braun Breaker who's up and coming, who's a sponge, who's athletically gifted and is the future up against a Sheamus. I think that program will go really well, and I think it will be very something that I'm in for to want to see. You have so many other options, even you know what, even others, even a Karrion Kross on Monday Night Raw, with a Braun Breaker, wouldn't mind seeing that as well, because it's believable if Braun goes out there and destroy even the AOP members to try to jump him, even though at the end of the day, he still gets beat up with the numbers game. But I could see him doing some spearing the crap out of AOP and then Karrion getting his hands on him finally. And then to leave some stipulation matches on a program where AOP's bow from ringside against Braun, and Braun, all those things. Again, there's plenty of time for that. I just wanted to throw that out there. I would like to see where Braun Breaker goes. Remember, there's a lot of the Intercontinental Championship. What Gunther has done to it has put a bar that is set up high for every incumbent champion from here on out. I thought Sami Zayn was okay. I thought he held it just enough, just right. You beat Gunther. You had some good matches here. Now you dropped it to Braun. Okay, fine. That's good. Good to go. Now, Braun, take the baton and run with it. I'm all right with that. I'm not going to go crazy. Sami Zayn did a phenomenal job there. Maybe Sami Zayn, a lot of people want him in another storyline on SmackDown, but we'll see what happens for Sami Zayn going forward. We get the United States title matchup. Oh, by the way, letter grade, you're going to give it a B+. It went to the point. It didn't linger. Could the match been a little crisper or smoother? Yeah, you could do that between Braun and Sami, but like I said, if you're getting hit with a spear at that velocity and that speed in your midsection, I have no doubt that the average person or even the special athlete will be down more than 3 seconds. If you get the wind knocked out of you, you're going to be knocked out for at least 10 to 15 seconds. Or in the world of wrestling, you only need 3 seconds and it's over. I don't see 2.99 and you kick out or get your win back. That's a tough one. So that's why I give it a B on that for Braun and Sami Zayn. Let's go on to the United States title. Logan Paul versus LA Knight, where I think 10% of the people were actually behind Logan Paul and 90% was all over LA Knight. Logan Paul comes out with Machine Gun Kelly. He comes down and escorts him down to the ring. Again, you're at the world of entertainment along with wrestling and of course it makes a perfect marriage. He comes down there. Logan Paul, like him or don't like him, and again, you got to worry about Logan Paul in the ring. Forget about what he does outside of the square circle, outside of the walls of the WWE. Sometimes he's a gaslighter. Some people like to say certain stupid things to gather the heat because they could take it. They thrive off of it. They like gaslighting people. They like people coming at them because they stay relevant. Now, he had said some unfathomed. That's the correct word. I correct myself. Unfathomed opinions about certain things that happen outside the world of wrestling and in the real world that a lot of people did not like, who are upset. Even if you agree or disagree with him, that's what that happened away from the WWE. That's nothing to do in the as a competitor, as Logan Paul, the in-ring performer, Logan Paul, he brings it. I mean, that moonsault that he did on the ropes, balanced with the tippy toes, and then he moonsault on the outside, also worked for Logan Paul. LA Knight had that. It looked like a brainbuster from the top rope. That looked like it was kind of dangerous. I don't know if that was meant to be like a bona fide brainbuster or superplex, but it looked. And I'm glad no one got injured. I'm glad that it looked good on TV. It looked good from watching along with it. Some great spots there when the brass knuckles was Machine Gun Kelly getting involved, trying to give the brass knuckles to Logan Paul, and of course LA Knight prevails and becomes the United States champion. Long overdue for LA Knight, finally winning gold in the WWE, the United States title. I kind of need to see him go on a little bit of a nice longevity run where LA Knight put some prestige when the Legend of Night, like I believe he said that, the Legend of LA Knight begins. I kind of want to see him, put some prestige on that United States title. Everyone wants to know what's next for LA Knight as champion. You got a lot of guys in the wing, a lot of young guys on SmackDown chomping on the bit to take a shot at LA Knight. My partner Chef Dan likes Santo Escobar to be his first opponent. I kind of tend to agree because I first said Carmelo Hayes. I know he's been going back and forth, and it's been spicy between Carmelo and LA Knight, but I don't want Carmelo Hayes to be his first feud due to the fact that Carmelo's going to lose. And I understand it's okay. Carmelo just got to the main roster. He's young and there's still time, but I kind of want to see that build where make it feel special, like a rumble, like this. Even if it's for Survivor Series, I'm okay with that. But his first feud right off the bat, I wouldn't mind having it to be Santo Escobar. Personally, you know, you could try to deal with Legado Fantasma with Angel Garza and Humberto, and and so forth. Wouldn't mind to see that. We'll see what's next for the United States champion. And what's next for Logan Paul? Does he take time away from the WWE? Maybe out of sight, out of mind, cool off. I personally think we don't see Logan Paul until Royal Rumble. I think the rest of the 2024 go cool down, not go away heat, but go away cool down for Logan Paul. And when the Rumble hits, when he hears his music, people's like, oh, that dude again. And you want that. You want Logan Paul. You don't want Logan Paul. This is me personally. I never want to see Logan Paul get cheered by the crowd. I think he's a classic heel, and I think, and it's not a disrespect. It's not a. I hope if Logan Paul ever hears this, I don't want him to take it as a disrespect or a slight. It's a good thing. If you get people to dislike you with the booze and the negative heat, you're over. It's better than getting no reaction. If you come out and you get crickets, that's not good. If you get some cheers or you get boos, it's a good reaction. It's a reaction. It's a pop. And that's what you want for a performer. For Logan Paul, when he returns at the Rumble, if he does, then he gets that pop. Unless if he comes back at that Netflix show. I mean, a lot of things happen on that Netflix day one, for the WWE. We move on here. Let's go. Letter grade on this match. This one's going to be. This one, I'm happy LA won. Wasn't my favorite match of the whole night. I'm going to be honest with you. But it wasn't terrible either. Just because it wasn't my favorite match of the night, wasn't terrible at all. It was entertaining. It was good. I'm happy LA won. I'm excited for him. I'm going to give this a B- if you want to letter grade it. I'll give it a B- due to the fact that it was there. We needed a champion change. Logan Paul. I'm so excited and so happy for LA Knight winning the title. And that's where it stands with that. That's my letter grade on that. We'll go into the WWE Women's Champion match. We have Bayley versus Nia Jax. Queen Nia Jax. Remember, Nia Jax won the Queen of the Ring tournament. Gives her the right to take on Bayley for the title. Bayley channeling her inner hugger. I like the jacket she wore and looked like a throwback a little bit to Bayley the hugger when she was coming up from NXT. Back and forth, good match there, good psychology match there. Nia Jax continues to always show that she's improving, taking away her stereotype of unsafe worker. Even a couple times she hit her banzai on Bayley. Not just once, but 3 times. Two of the times she bounced and safely. She got the pin eventually. With Tiffany Stratton came out as a distraction. We thought Tiffany's intention was to cash in that title because she was accompanied by an official. Referee came down with her. Of course, got interjected. Couldn't really give the fully cash in. Of course, typical things that we see when they try to cash in and they never get the announcement. So she still keeps the briefcase. That's when Nia takes advantage and, of course, gets the victory. Personally, for Bayley as the run as a champion, it was okay. It was okay run. She needed to be that champion at WrestleMania. It's just undue circumstance that Bayley had to drop the title. I would have liked to Bayley have gone a little bit longer. Give me at least 3 more months with Bayley as the women's champion. I would have liked it. But a lot of times people are complaining about Bayley's aura or lack of aura or excitement as women's champion. I don't know why, but if you see the IWC, they're complaining about it. I thought Bayley, one of the original 4 horsewomen, looks natural. It fits her holding a title. And it makes me beg the question here. And it's totally off topic, but I have to ask this question. Those that are listening to me in the wrestling community. What's the dislike for the 4 horsewomen? I think they really brought the level of women's wrestling to where it is now. You see Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks. No one likes her in AEW. There's so much negativity, so much heat, go away heat. Can't stand her. Why? She's a 4 horsewoman. Even Becky Lynch, currently semi-retired or without a contract, just resting her bones, resting her body, motherhood and all that. When she was champion, oh, she's boring. Go away. When Charlotte Flair was champion, oh, here's Charlotte again. There was so much negative ire to Charlotte with the title and so much negativity, and also now Bayley. Oh, she's not no aura. Bayley, I think, is the least disliked of all 4 of the horsewomen, but there's still that group of people that don't like Bayley either. And I ask myself, why so much negativity to the 4 horsewomen, where they're pioneers in the wrestling business for the women's, what they have done for so much for women's wrestling. They're no longer divas. They're no longer the days of bra and panty matches were totally out the window, and it was a little bit before them. But what they put on from NXT to the main roster, they revolutionized women's wrestling all across. Now, look at the impact it has on TNA, All Elite Wrestling. Stardom. It changes the industry so much, and they get so much hate or dislike by, and of course it might be a small group of people, but I never could understand why with the 4 horsewomen. Listen, 5 more years from now, we might not see no more. Neither 4, not even one. Maybe all 4 will be gone, and then we're gonna like, damn, we missed the Bayley, we missed the Trish, Becky Lynch, we miss a Sasha, Mercedes Moné, we miss a Charlotte Flair. Hey, you know what? I'm all for it when Charlotte returns from her injury. Let's go. There's so many storylines. I still want to see a Rhea and Charlotte rematch. I want to see a Charlotte and Jade Cargill. They teased it. I got to see it. Becky Lynch, Jade Cargill. Never got that. I want to see that. There's so many other stories there. I want to see another match between Bayley and Bianca Belair. I kind of want to see more of that. Those ladies know how to tell a story. But I digress. I don't know I asked that question. What's the dislike on the 4 horsewomen? I could never get it. I personally feel that they're so respectful. Speaking about a match that didn't have a lot of respect in it, of course, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with special guest referee Seth freaking Rollins. Seth Rollins, of course, come out with a referee shirt with some really silver color pants. Like, whoa, he really makes a statement. I like the fact that Seth Rollins tried to call this match down the middle, not trying to get involved. You see the shenanigans there with, Punk and Drew. Punk got his best of his temper got to him. Drew McIntyre had to go over in this match. Rightfully so. He beats Punk after Punk put him to sleep, but he couldn't. And of course, he saw Rollins pick up that it was that dollar store bracelet, but it has AJ and Larry the dog's name on it. Don't mess with Larry the dog. And he thought Seth Rollins was trolling him by picking up. Rollins, as the referee, is taught, and when you're refereeing, you're taught get whatever debris out of the ring. Either you slap it to the floor, you pick it up, put it in your pocket, or and so forth. And Rollins picked up the bracelet, put it on for a moment so it won't get damaged. Maybe because his pants were too tight to put in his pocket, and CM Punk took it as a ribbing him for that bracelet. It got the best of him. Of course, some Claymore by Drew McIntyre gets the victory, and Drew McIntyre had to go over in this match. Drew McIntyre needed this victory. He lost at home in Scotland at Clash of the Castle. Money in the Bank, yes, he won the bank, but had to fail cash in, got screwed over by Punk. This feud is not over. I kind of wanted it to be over. Because Drew grabbed the bracelet again after Rollins got knocked out too. He took the bracelet, put it on himself, and this feud is going to continue with Punk, McIntyre. Remember, in October we have Bad Blood. Could have been leading to a Hell in a Cell match. We'll see. Personally, I would love to see a triple threat Hell in a Cell match there. Just have all these guys go at it like a bunch of animals, or a fight pit. But if it's in a fight pit, it will benefit CM Punk. Although if you saw his UFC run, you may not think so. But I kind of want to see a little more. I kind of want to see more. At first, yesterday, I was like, I wish the feud was over on the stream. I got upset. I was like, I wish this feud would die already. Because here's the thing: at 24 hours thinking about it, once Punk is done with McIntyre, where does McIntyre go? Where does he go to the World Heavyweight title matchup? But the champion has beaten him. Both the champion and the challenger has beaten McIntyre in more than one occasion. Gunther, as Intercontinental Champion, defeated McIntyre several times, and Damian Priest has too. So where do we go with those two? I don't think McIntyre moves up to the World Heavyweight title spot. He's going to be just in no man's land. We all know he signed a contract to do some movies. He might be taking some time off to do some movies and stuff like that. But I don't think so. I think he's still here to the remainder of 2024. Where do we go? So you keep him on this feud with CM Punk, and we go forward. McIntyre continues to troll and do phenomenal trolling job on the internet with Twitter, TikTok, and stuff like that. I got to give him credit. Again, I've said many times on my watch along, not a fan of Drew McIntyre. I think he's a little boring when he stands in the ring and cuts a promo on live mic. On Raw, I tend to get tuned out. But I got to give him his credit and his flowers is he's doing good stuff on Twitter and on TikTok. I don't know if it's helped or aided by a director or someone pitching them ideas, but they're very creative. They're very entertaining. But then when you get to that live mic, it's like, you know what? Get the energy drink because the melatonin is going to hit. But let's see when Drew McIntyre goes forward. He's doing the best work of his career, many say. So let's see what happens going forward here. Rematch or more levels to this feud between these three men. That's a big time drama between them, and what Rollins and Punk, everybody wants to see that one-on-one between those two. But right now we have to finish this program with Drew McIntyre. We shall see. Letter grades. Excuse me about that. I forgot about that. The Bayley and Nia Jax. I'm gonna give that a B plus. It was a good match, very good match. Bayley. The Tiffany Stratton drama, cashing in, not cashing in, nice B plus there. This match with Drew and CM Punk, I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A because there was a lot of drama. There was a lot of that Punk being blinded by that bracelet. For us, listen, to us that looks at it, it's only $1. Why is he worried about $1 bracelet? Have AJ or someone make you another one, but it's not that. It's the significance, the names on it, Larry, AJ, why they made it for them. Maybe it was something, it was a gesture of kindness of someone who made it for him, and to Punk, that meant the world to him. Sometimes the simple things in life is what is valuable to us. And that's what that storyline told to Punk, and it blinded him for a moment. The story that was told there, that's why I'm giving that an A to an A plus on McIntyre and Punk. Yes, even McIntyre going over, it was the right thing. It was A plus. It was called and it was done to perfection. I can't knock it. I can't say, it was good. Even the length of the match between them. So that was an A plus tonight for McIntyre and Punk, in my opinion here. We go into the World Heavyweight title. The World Heavyweight title match. Damian Priest versus Gunther. Gunther, the King of the Ring winner, earned the right to wrestle Mr. Damian Priest, El Campeón, at SummerSlam. Back and forth. This was a physical, hard-hitting match. The chops, the kicks, the elbow. It was what they call a stiff match. WWE had a lot of advertising. They had Wingstops on the ring. They had Prime energy drink. I believe they had a wireless company on the mat. They should have had a Bluetooth, or they should have had a hymns, because that was, talk about hard hitting. That was hard. That match they were hitting, and they were stiff. There was a lot of stiffness in that match, back and forth there from the chops. Gunther at one time was bleeding from his chest, because remember, he still had the bruises from Monday Night Raw against Finn Balor. Of course, we see some backstage promos before that. Damian Priest irate what Dominic Mysterio did to Rhea, and and they were chasing him. They were looking for him in the backstage, and Finn and Damian kind of talked it out, tried to say, I apologize. And good thing for Canary. Canary, who watched along with us on the watch along, said, why is Finn Balor apologizing to Damian Priest where Finn hasn't done anything? Damian is apologizing for talking short to Finn Balor, and then Finn apologized back, but he hasn't done anything wrong. So she caught that on the watch along. Kudos to Canary from Are You Watching This YouTube podcast as well, joining us on the watch along. I wanted to give her shout out and her flowers on there. And Gunther, in a big upset there, pulls off the opportunity, builds off and becomes the world heavyweight champion. But before he became world heavyweight champion, we had Finn Balor come out to the aid or come out at ringside to encourage Damian Priest. Even Gunther kicked Finn in the face, knocked him down. But then when Gunther gets hit with the South of Heaven, here's the pinfall, and Finn puts the foot on the rope for Gunther, where Damian was like, what? And he turned around, and of course, true evil Finn Balor, heel turn. And I love the shot where Priest just grabbed him by the throat, wanted to rip his throat out. So much realism in the facials and expression, and I loved it. And then Gunther hits with the powerbomb and gets the victory. Gunther becomes the world heavyweight champion. Let me tell you something. That aesthetic look on Gunther with that world title, it hits. It fits. I wanted Damian Priest to retain, but you know what? I love the storyline, the drama that's coming out. The split of Judgment Day. We see Rhea and Damian got screwed, and you seen they had a bond, a kinship of, I guess they call them the Terror Twins, together, babyface, because we heard, if you look at the internet, they have babyface run. We've seen Damian Priest with Jey Uso yeeting, kind of turning babyface slowly but surely on us. And of course, now you could go with Finn as the heel, along with Liv. They have plotted this all along. We also in months leading up to SummerSlam on Monday Night Raw, Liv coming out of the car, one shot, and then it was Finn coming instead of Dominic. They could have been plotting this demise of Judgment Day or Rhea and so forth. And you saw on Twitter JD McDonough ripping the shirt in half of the Judgment Day, and where his legion is, a tag team champion with Finn Balor. But where does Carlito fit in all this? Or Carlito not an official member of the Judgment Day? To me, I think he's going to be the messenger that's going to go back and forth bringing stories, and I think that's who Damian Priest is going to get his hands on Monday Night Raw. So it's going to be interesting on Monday. I didn't want to talk about that in the beginning with the Liv and Rhea Ripley story about spoiling until we got to tonight, to this moment in time with Judgment Day. But Judgment Day right now, they're in a civil war. Will they be rebranded? Will they be named Judgment Day and something else? Who knows? Or this is where Rhea and Damian go on their own single runs on their own, with the mutual respect, or will they join forces to watch each other's back because they have common enemies? Damian is so mad at Finn, and Rhea is so mad at Dominic and Liv, and Damian wants his hands on El Sucio, Dominic Mysterio. So we'll find out how that goes. More storylines, because right now it makes you have to tune in for the aftermath on Monday Night Raw, and that's what you want to do here going into the winter. Now summer is coming down to a small wine. Got about 6 weeks of good weather, hot weather, and then back into the changing of the climates. Of course, the kids back to school, the early daylight stuff, and now wrestling continues with these storylines to close out the year. You're going to get captivated, and that's what they're doing here with wrestling. You got to like it. This match here is another A+. I'm going to give this an A+. Gunther wins. Everybody was happy to see Gunther. Everybody was down on Damian Priest as the world heavyweight champion, calling him you could see it was 60-40 of the fan base disliking Damian, 40%. I'm one of those 40% that wanted Damian to continue to rule, although I am a big Gunther fan as well. Thought Gunther wasn't quite there yet, ready to be the world champion, but you know what? I'm going to sit back and relax and enjoy it. What's next for Gunther? That's the question. I know everybody wants to push Ilya Dragunov to me for Bash at the Berlin. I'm not going to be opposed to that. At first, I was like, we've seen, we haven't seen it in a while. We haven't seen it. They tease it on the main roster. Why not give the fans in Germany that match? They're going to, you're having a PLE in Germany. It's going to go there. Europe is so loud and so awesome to watch on a watch along. Watch them how they embrace wrestling and love it. The fan base. Just think of that match between Ilya and Gunther at Bash of the Berlin. It makes sense. At first I was like, now I'm 100% on board with it. Let's go. Gunther, Ilya Dragunov, his first title defense on the PLE across the seas in Germany. I'm for it. Let's go for it. I don't want to see it against Ludwig Kaiser. I know he's recovering from an injury. I know everybody wanted to see that. No, I kind of want to see Ilya versus um, Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther. Me personally, and again, let's go. Let's see what's next there. What's next for Damian Priest? He's going after Judgment Day. He's going either he wants to get his hands on Finn Balor. You know, maybe he has to go through Carlito. Maybe he has to put some. Maybe in Bash of the Berlin, it sets up a mixed tag match. I don't know where they're going with Bash of the Berlin with storyline. We'll see because everything WWE put themselves in a really particular place. Bash of the Berlin, the timing over Bad Blood. You kind of wanted Bad Blood to be right after SummerSlam, unfortunately, because all these feuds that's coming out of SummerSlam, there's a lot of, no pun intended, a lot of bad blood from Liv and Rhea. Dominic getting involved with and Judgment Day, the bad blood between Punk and Drew McIntyre is still not settled. Even Seth Rollins, a lot, and literally that premium live event hits. But unfortunately, they had to shoehorn Bash of the Berlin. I wonder if they're going to put other competitors that are not currently, like the women's tag team, the men's tag team for both Raw and SmackDown, maybe the United States title, maybe the World Heavyweight title, and hold off on these other feuds for a moment. We'll see. You also have the Wyatt Six. Well, do they go to Berlin and wrestle there? You could pivot and not make it a B show because you want to give Germany the best. You don't want to shortchange any wrestling fans anywhere across the world. You want to give your best to those people that are paying a lot of money in any walk of life or any entertainment business. But maybe you want to hold off on these bad blood feuds and kind of prolong it where Bash of the Berlin, you don't know, you want to have some payoff. You want to give some, and you wanted to pay it off at Bad Blood, not Bash of the Berlin. So it's interesting how the creative in WWE is going to navigate with Bash of the Berlin sandwiched in between Bad Blood. That's just me. Let's go to the main event, ladies and gentlemen. The main event where everybody's been waiting for. Cody Rhodes taking on Solo Sikoa for the undisputed WWE Heavyweight Champion. Now, Bloodline rules. I'm on Friday Night SmackDown in Cleveland. It was agreed upon. Cody Rhodes agreed that he will take the stipulation of Bloodline rules from Solo Sikoa. So Cody Rhodes is 1-0 on the Bloodline rules. I gonna have a whole thing about it afterwards. One thing I did like, we all know that the tag team champions were in attendance. The new tag team, Solo Sikoa's new Bloodline in Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. But we didn't see them. Solo comes out alone, waiting. Cody Rhodes goes into the bus. You see the whole bus tour. We got Pharaoh the dog. I always like to see Pharaoh the dog. We seen Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson giving him a pep talk to Cody Rhodes. Does that mean, we've seen in the past that Cody Rhodes would like to have a manager? We know that bond and that relationship that they have with Arn Anderson. Will that be something in his corner? Maybe not. Maybe Arn Anderson will be a manager role for Cody Rhodes down the line. Only time will tell. We see him coming through the gorilla position. We see where his mother-in-law puts his Cody Rhodes robe. Of course, the mask. Out comes Cody Rhodes. The match begins. Boom. Bloodline rules. And then it gave us about 25 minutes of pure wrestling match before the shenanigans and the interference from the Bloodline members came in, about 25 to 30 minute mark, which is good. I saw some good wrestling there. Of course, we get the Bloodline interference. Out comes Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, similar to WrestleMania 40, back and forth. So, Jacob Fatu comes out. What a enforcer! There's a spot where Jacob Fatu has Cody Rhodes on the table, goes for the splash. Looks like he hurt his foot. Pictures reveal later today that he was in a walking boot, so Jacob Fatu couldn't put weight on his foot. Looked like he was injured. Kayfabe wise, couldn't put weight on it, but all of a sudden the music hits. The tribal chief, with a new T-shirt, comes out. Roman Reigns comes into the massive pop of the crowd, hits the Superman punch, and Solo Sikoa right in the mouth. My goodness, and a spear. Ooh, ah. And, of course, Cody Rhodes gets the victory, similar to WrestleMania 40. Everyone and their mother helps Cody Rhodes get over. I wasn't so happy at the moment. I still am a big Solo Roman bloodline fan. I kind of wanted this to be at Bad Blood to return for Roman Reigns. I know you got to do it in the big stadium show because there's so many people, 55,000 plus and so forth. I get it. I kind of wanted Jimmy Uso to be the one to cost and screw Solo Sikoa in this moment. And I know everyone's not going to agree with me. I might be the only one who actually thinks this way personally. I kind of want to leave Roman closer to War Games. Now we got September, October, half of November because War Games is at the end of November. Almost got 3 months, 90 days to try to build for War Games. What are we going to do to Roman within? Is he going to wrestle Solo Sikoa? To me, that's kind of I kind of want to see that at Rumble, to be honest with you. One-on-one Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns. I kind of want Roman to try to get his hands on Solo, and Solo making it impossible for Roman to get his hands on him, putting obstacles and roadblocks for him to get his hands on. Because remember, we want to prolong the creative, but still be compelling. Because if you give everything at once, what's next? You run out of ideas and storylines, and you start forcing stuff. I kind of want to. This is the way. If I had the pencil, I would have liked it gone. Jimmy comes out and causes that Solo Sikoa to lose the match. Cody retained. Then, of course, we didn't know Jacob was going to get injured, but if it kind of maybe things happen for a good reason, because if Jacob couldn't continue, then how the hell they're going to beat up on Jimmy? Where I think they were both, Cody doesn't get involved. They start beating up on Jimmy Uso, but then out comes Jay to help him. Where, Jay has a kinship with Cody and now his brother. Well, they're beating up on Cody. He comes out and he helps his brother get up, and they kind of mend a little bit of the fences there on the Premium Live event, the brothers and all that stuff. Then they could bring, and then sets up a match for again Bad Blood, Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa. And I know everyone's gonna say, so what do you do with Cody Rhodes? That was a good question. I wish I could give you that answer. I don't know. Even now, even after him beating Solo Sikoa, I don't know what's next for Cody Rhodes, to be honest with you. Do not say Roman Reigns, because that's not. There is no Premium Live event currently right now that I want to see Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Not right now. If you would have left the title on Roman Reigns, then you could say, you know what, Bad Blood would have been a perfect Premium Live event for Cody Rhodes to drop to beat Roman Reigns, because he would have beaten Hogan's record. Then you would have Bad Blood, because Cody has a lot of bad blood with Roman and the bloodline, and he finally. And then you could have had Cody Rhodes become the undisputed heavyweight champion, finishing the story there. And then you would have everything the best of both worlds. But again, we can't undo history. It already happened. Cody is already the champion. We move on. I don't know what we do with Cody Rhodes right now. And this is the part that I was not happy for, because I didn't express it on the watch along, and it took me 24 hours to why it was bothering me, why I didn't like it. It felt like they bought Roman to sell more t-shirts and to sell title belts. And it's a business. I get it. Wrestling is a business. And look at the money they made with the titles. The red title that they sold over $800,000 of merchandise in Roman alone. And good. It's about making money. But this is, you know what that showed me? Roman Reigns became the top babyface of the company. So what do you do? And he's not the world heavyweight champion. When is the wrestling fans going to turn on Cody Rhodes? It's going to happen right now. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen. What they happened in All Elite is going to happen to poor Cody. That's why I kind of wanted Cody to, Roman to get done with the Rock itch of fighting him at this WrestleMania, take Hogan's streak, beat Hogan's streak. We have now a tan colored person like myself that I can identify as the number one longevity champion of all time. And that would have been done out of the way, because right now you can't look at Hogan. He came back at the Republican National Convention, and everybody's killing him. Oh, Hogan is toxic. to some people into the social media. Why not have Cobra? That's why I kind of wanted Roman to break that record. Hogan could, you know what? Go retire, brother, with the 80s. You put you in the closet for the 80s, and now it's Roman. But now Hogan's gonna live on with that streak. That's why I was so adamant of not having Cody win. I wanted that title, that record. And look, I'm a Hulk Hogan fan. And look, I got a Hulk Hogan pop here. I'm a big Hulk Hogan fan. I grew up with Hogan, but I got to be realistic. I kind of wanted that record to be abolished by Roman Reigns. I wanted him to, you know what? And it is what it is. That's at the end of the day, it is what it is. But that's just my opinion, my feeling, my thought. Now Cody's the number 2 babyface. Or you could even say possibly 3 because Jey Uso's on fire right now. People want to see Jey Uso. People are complaining that SmackDown is with Cody Rhodes as the World Heavyweight Champion with the segments. Solo Sikoa. Solo and Roman. Solo and Cody. We need Roman back. Sometimes the momentary fix is not the best outcome for the long run. That's just my thought on it. I'll leave you with that thought there. I understand we might not agree on the wrestling business. We not agree what I just came up with, what I thought with, and I get it. But I'm enjoying it at the moment. That was my worry, and that's going to be my concern, my worry going forward with Cody Rhodes not being the number 1. I know kids love him, and he's going to be a draw because he shows. You know what? His availability is phenomenal. His attendance record, he's there. He gets the kids going. People love to see his entrance, the wall, the singing. But then once the storyline, what's next for Cody Rhodes? I ask you guys, what's next for Cody Rhodes? Randy Orton. Everyone wants to run to Randy Orton turning on Cody Rhodes, which is going to be compelling. But do you want that now to finish 2024? Do you want that to have that in your holster in case they go Roman and Rock? Then you have Cody and Randy for WrestleMania, because wrestling is compelled with storylines. There's a lot of storylines where you could build a lot of animosity or a lot of history between Cody and Randy Orton than having it shortchanged at a crown jewel or at a Bad Blood or at War Games. War Games should be the ultimate battle of like the Survivor Series, 5-on-5, 4-on-4 in a cage, control mayhem. But we shall see where WWE creative goes. I just hope that Cody continues to stay hot, continues to be the number 1 babyface in the company, not overtaken by Roman, and not overtaken by. I don't think he'll be ever overtaken by Damon Priest now with this turn, but or Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso. Jey Uso's on fire right now, or the Wyatt. I know that most of these guys are on Monday Night Raw, but let's face it, SmackDown needs that babyface, and maybe that's why they're doing it. They're moving in September to USA Network. Roman back on the USA Network helps draw some more eyes for SmackDown for the USA. Maybe that's the reason why they did it for television situation, but only time will tell. We shall see where it is. Comment below in the video. Let's join us for Monday Night Raw. We'll have the watch along here with the Heal the Ring crew. We'll be doing our watch along here. All the insights, our analysis, and our thoughts on reaction as Monday Night Raw transpires and what's we're seeing on our TV screen. Myself, the Heal the Ring crew will be here. Terrence, Mr. Chef Dan, Mr. D-Walk from D-Walk NXT time from the Rican Reaction, the PUWF podcast for the underappreciated wrestling fan. Yes, you can find them on Rican Reaction, as well as thank you for Are You Seeing This? A podcast with Miss Jazz Marie and the Hollywood Canary, the unspoken, the uncanny Hollywood Canary. Thank you, Canary, for joining us on the watch along. And don't forget Misfit Nation, Kayfabe Cartel, who are part of our network as well, a friend of the program. Chris Deshawn. Check out his video. He pretty much had almost the predictions for SummerSlam right on T. Kudos to him, giving him his flowers here this afternoon. But again, enjoy your afternoon, everyone. We'll see you next time on the Heal the Ring podcast. May the sports be with you, and yeet. See you later.